Hello and welcome to another AIC video. If you've been a member of my channel for any length of time, you know that I love compact ThinkPads. I've had a ton of them. I've had multiples of the same version over the years. Currently, this is my current collection. I have an X220, an X250, an X270, and an X280. I use them pretty interchangeably. I love them all for different reasons. But when Lenovo last week reached out to me and offered to send me a Z13 for review, I absolutely jumped at the chance at taking a look at it. And that's what we're going to do here. I've been using it for the last day and a half or so, and I just want to get some initial impressions out there for you. I actually did go ahead and post on Reddit, on the ThinkPad subreddit, asking for suggestions on what people want to see. And so this is just kind of initial impression and giving some people a chance to comment on that thread if you'd like, giving me some suggestions. I've gotten some great ones so far. Like, one thing that people definitely want to see is Linux installed on this ThinkPad. But first and foremost, the thing I do with all computers when I get them, and I've already opened this up, but I'll do it for you here on screen just to show you how easy it is open these up, take a look at the inside, take a look at the gut, see what we have going on here. Being a ThinkPad, this is nice and easy to open up. There's just 5 screws on the bottom here, and they are captive, which is always super nice because then you don't have to worry about losing them. The bottom of the laptop is aluminum. Now, from reading online, there's a few different options here as far as what your bottom could be depending on your configuration, but it seems like by default the bottoms are aluminum. This just snaps on and off here on the bottom, and then you open it from the hinge side because the front edge kind of has a lip that you kind of have to pull up on to pull it off. All right, that's it. That is, well, again, aluminum. Pretty decent aluminum. I've had a lot of people ask about like wear and tear, like how durable it is. I only get these from Lenovo for about 30 days or so before I have to send them back. So there's only so much I can do to test them, and I can't start chucking them off of tables or off of, just dropping them on cement or whatever, because I don't know if Lenovo would appreciate me purposely destroying one of these systems. I'm not the first one to take a look at this system. It was reviewed previously by somebody else. So I know that they want these back in good enough kit to let somebody else see them. So I can only do so much, but as far as like my personal experience so far, the aluminum seems nice, thick, heavy duty stuff. It is fairly fingerprint free. It's not a huge fingerprint magnet, which is a problem that I have. I kind of have a little bit of greasy hand, so I tend to leave fingerprints on stuff. That's one reason why I put the vinyl stickers on my ThinkPads, just to keep them a little bit cleaner looking. But we have it open up now. We have these nice 2 big fans with kind of a, kind of a big heat plate with some, you can't see them, they're underneath, but some heat pipes under there. It does not look like it's a vapor chamber at all, just a heat pipe that runs along here to the fans. This is running a Ryzen processor, a Ryzen 7. Unfortunately, the wireless and the memory is under here. It is soldered to the system board. It is not upgradable, which to me is extremely unfortunate. Now, this does have 16 gigs of RAM, which I think if you're going to have a system that has soldered memory, 16 gigs is the minimum. My X280 has 8 gigs, and I run into issues with that. It is not enough memory. The storage is upgradable. It is a 2242 size NVMe SSD. These shorter SSDs are becoming more popular in systems like this just because they take up so much less room. Mine is a 512 gig device. So there it is, opened up. We're really not, as easy as it is to open this system, you're really not going to be doing it for any reason unless you need to upgrade your storage, which I think if you get the 16 gigs of RAM, the minimum storage you can get is that 512 gigs, which for most people is probably enough on a system like this. Unlike my basically desktop replacement laptop, you're not going to want to store a whole lot on the laptop itself without it being backed up to another device or whatever. So at least that's the suggestion that I make for people, is you never, on something that's portable, you don't have your most critical files on there. You keep those backed up somewhere else. Now, as far as expandability goes, one of the things that has always, for me at least, defined a ThinkPad is that it's a tool, that it is a workhorse, and that you have all the ports and expandability you need built into the system. On this, unfortunately, on the right-hand side of the laptop, we have just a headphone microphone jack and one USB Type-C port. On the other, we just have a single Type-C port. No SD card reader, no Type A port, no Ethernet port. So unfortunately, as far as expandability goes on this laptop, I'm pretty disappointed. Even just adding a single Type A port and a micro SD card reader would make this laptop significantly far superior in my eyes. And there's room here for them to do it on this side. Easily could have put a Type A port. It's thick enough, it's wide enough to have that on there. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't have done it other than to save costs. A lot of things have gone to USB Type-C, but there's a lot that hasn't. And people have a fairly large collection of USB Type-A devices, which by pushing these to be all Type-C, all that becomes e-waste, and it's perfectly good. I have Ethernet adapters. I have mice that I can't plug into this because they use a USB dongle. I don't have an external CD-ROM drive that works with this because they're all Type A stuff, which means if I want to use an external CD-ROM with this, I have to use an adapter. And that's fine. I have them now because I've been forced to, but with a tool like this, you want to be as self-contained as possible, in my opinion, and having everything be USB Type-C and having to break out your dongle is not really kind of what it's, in my mind, what it should be for. Now, let's go ahead and open up and take a look at the inside. The first thing you'll notice on here is that it is a gloss touchscreen. I'm not a fan of touchscreens, plain and simple. I'm not a fan of glossy screens, plain and simple. On my X280, it is a touchscreen as well, but it is still a matte touchscreen. So I don't have to deal with the gloss reflecting back to me. You've probably seen my whole office right now through the gloss screen. And I've been working on this, and you know, I have some bright lights on in here because I'm older and I'm getting a bit blind. And I'm looking at a reflection of myself through this thing all day long. It's really frustrating to me. So I either have to turn off my lights that I kind of need, or I have to kind of stare through that reflection. I don't believe that there's a matte screen option for this at this point, at least what I could see on their website, which I think is unfortunate. Now it is a beautiful screen, 1920 by 1200, so it's 16 by 10 aspect ratio. I love that we're going to this format. You're getting a taller screen, which means you get a little bit more room on your keyboard, a little bit bigger palm rest, bigger touchpad. I think that is a smart decision to go. The keyboard itself is pretty good. Definitely not your older style ThinkPad keyboards. Those are long gone. This is so thin that I don't think those would fit in this chassis. The key travel on these is pretty darn short. Not bad, it's just shorter than what I'm used to and what I prefer. This is kind of a dumb, but one of the things that drove me crazy when I first started using this is I've trained myself that the outer button here is function and the inner button is control. And so I kept hitting function when I meant to hit control today. And I do a lot of copying and pasting. And so that's been driving me nuts all day. I've spent so much time on ThinkPads, and I know you're either going to love that change or it's going to drive you crazy like it does me. The track point is excellent. It's very responsive, very usable. The sections out here that you would click with your thumb when using the track point, again, very easy to click, very easy to find. The touchpad's one of the, I don't want to say newer style, but it's newer for Lenovo, at least, in the fact that it is not an actual clicky touchpad. There's no button under here. It's just haptic feedbacks. So when you turn this off and you click on this, there's nothing. There's no click. There's no movement. You only feel that when it's on because it has a motor that makes that response. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm quite impressed with this. I don't feel like it picks up my palms when I'm typing at all. It is very accurate, very quick, and it's a nice size without being ridiculously big. So just from just a day and a half worth of use. Again, I'll be doing a full review here in a week or so when I've had a bigger chance to use this. But so far my impressions are pretty good. I'm not going to talk about the operating system. It is running Windows 11. It is what it is. I'm not a fan so far of Windows 11, but that doesn't really matter. It's going to be part of my life soon anyways. So anyways, that's just a quick review of this laptop. I shouldn't say review, a quick look at this laptop. Just some initial thoughts on it. Really mixed. Some things I really like about it, like the speakers are excellent, keyboard's pretty decent, but some things I don't like. Port expandability, glossy screen, but we'll definitely be doing more. I will link to the Reddit post that I made if you want to add a comment there of something you'd like to see. Read through those comments. I've had quite a few so far already, so you know, if you're asking to see what Linux does on this, that's already been asked several times. I definitely plan on putting just a generic installation of Ubuntu on here, seeing A, if it installs, B, if all the drivers, everything get installed on it. That seems to be something people really want. So anyways, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, leave those down in the comment section down below. Please subscribe if you want to see the follow-up. Thank you for watching.